Good evening from Mashiach, and we are going to take a look at a mystery, reveal a mystery, and that is before you the Great Pyramid. And it's one of the temples of two. This one, which is located in Egypt, and the second, which is located in England, which we shall look at later, that form part of Scripture. And indeed, between the Great Pyramid in Egypt and Stonehenge in England, we have the highway between Egypt and Assyria. Men in the later days will travel between these two temples because they lay on the immortality line of the southeast northwest direction where man finds God. So in this work we go around to uncover a mystery, and the first of these is the Great Pyramid. And these mysteries are what is known as the things of the night. It's where the Latin word mysterium comes from, or means. Secret rites and hidden truths only known to initiates, but time has come for the world itself to understand these mysteries. And this pyramid of Khufu was built around 2551 BC. And the name of the pharaoh is actually found on a cartouche in the king's chamber, the name meaning protection. Now we need to look at the interior of this Great Pyramid to discover its mysteries, and we can do that by looking at a architect's drawing which reveals the ascending and descending passages. Here we have the entrance of the Great Pyramid, located at the 19th core masonry. And here we have the descending passage. And here we have two score lines marked in that passage. And it seems to indicate the beginning of the message of the Great Pyramid itself. The two score lines are in the form like that of the glyph of Gemini, the second sign of the zodiac. Here we have the granite plug, which marks the beginning of the ascending passage to the Grand Gallery, which is a sevenfold cobbled vault. And here we have the ante-chamber, and then King's Chamber. Here we have the passage to the Queen's Chamber, marked here. Going down the descending passage from the granite plug, we have the subterranean pit, the lowest point here of the Great Pyramid. The pyramid itself, though from outside the surface, outside appearances, is in the form of a pyramid, but the internal structure of the Great Pyramid, its chambers, ascending and descending, is in the form of a circle. And these passages mark, these points of the passages and chambers marks various points on that circle. These points refer to the zodiac, and these points begin here at the score lines, as I said before, in the form of Gemini. This position here marks 30 degrees Gemini. There are 30 degrees to each of the 12 signs of the zodiac, making 360 degrees. This is the beginning of the message, and the two score lines in the glyph of Gemini marks the beginning of the message at 30 degrees Gemini. This distance here is the distance between the beginning of the message, which is 30 degrees Gemini, and the position here of what is known in the horoscope, the Imu Colli, the IC in the horoscope. And this granite plug marked here indicates the position of it. To give the reader an understanding of this, if he's not trained in astrological science, the beginning of the message, the score lines is here. This here marks 30 degrees Gemini. The score lines are in the glyph of Gemini. We travel along, which is 28.6 degrees. We come to the IC, the Imu Colli in the horoscope. And this travels up to the mid-heaven point of Sagittarius. This is the position here of the granite plug in the Great Pyramid. This distance here between 30 degrees Gemini and the IC is the distance between the score lines and the granite plug. This is 28.6 degrees. And this distance here between the score lines and also the granite plug reveals 688 pyramid inches. The royal cubit itself is 24 British inches. Therefore, a pyramid inch is equivalent to 1 British inch. And 1 cubit is equivalent to 24 British inches. Therefore, this distance between the score lines and the IC plug, being 688 pyramid inches, is equivalent to 688 British inches, which if we divide by the royal cubit of 24 inches, this gives us a distance of 28.6 royal cubits. And this distance marks the beginning 30 degrees Gemini and the IC. Now we move to the descending passage here, which goes down to the subterranean pit. This distance here is 2,958.3 pyramid inches, and this to this point here to there. And if we divide that by 24, it will give us the number of royal cubits. And 2,958.3 divided by 24 gives us 123.2 royal cubits. Each cubit represents 1 degree of a circle, and the sun moves 1 degree in the great wheel of the zodiac. So therefore, from the granite plug here, located at 1.4 Gemini, if we move 123.2 degrees, revealed in the pyramid as the descending passage to the subterranean pit, we come all the way up to 28 degrees Capricorn, this area here. And this falls in the horoscope on the 12th house, which means the area of the subconscious. So the subterranean pit refers to the subconscious. This ends part 1, and we will discuss more of this in part 2.